Good evening, YouTube. My name is Dan, and I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. Week 3 of the GBA is here, and the St. Louis Rampardos head smashed their last weekend opponent, gym leader Gio, with a nice 2-0 win over the San Francisco Giants. Now, Week 3 pins us against the Borussia Donphan, 2-0, who are leading our conference and our division so far in terms of wins and differential. So we have quite the uphill battle up ahead here. But in order for us to come out on top this season, we do need to be able to beat the Borussia Donphan as we face off twice. So this matchup is incredibly important early season. I think it shows a lot of implications in terms of the playoff race early on, and I think that we really need to make sure that we have our team building on, on lock. We need to be prepared mentally, and we got to be ready to rock and roll against Lars, because he's shown already that he can be a very, very tough opponent, taking out Old Man Tub last week. So it's going to be an intense matchup here, and I brought what I thought to be the best team to take on the Borussia Donphan. So before we jump into what I'm going to be bringing, I want to say thank you guys for your support on last week's video. If you guys want to support this video as well by hitting the like button, that would be absolutely marvelous. And of course, just a reminder, St. Louis Rampardos t-shirts are available. You can check the link in the description to get to our exclusive St. Louis Rampardos t-shirt shop on onaj.com. Now, the Borussia Donphan and Scizor rocking a very impressive lineup featuring Landorus, not Therian form, Landorus incarnate form, which is banned to Ubers in standard Smogon format, but someone in the GBA let it slip, and it was drafted. We obviously calculated that we consider it to be not an Ubers type threat in the GBA, but that doesn't matter. This thing is an absolute monster. It hits things incredibly hard, and it's probably one of the only, if not the only Pokemon that I will encounter this season that can one-shot Mega Aggron. Now that presents a problem in itself. The fact that he is a Pokemon that with Earth Power Life Orb can OHKO 100% of the time, a specially defensive Mega Aggron. That kind of changes our game plan quite a bit here. On top of that, he's got a Azumarill, which is one of the best hitting fairies in the game. It's one of those iffy matchups, so I'm not entirely sure if he's going to bring a Azumarill, but I'm actually a little bit weary of a Belly Drum set this week. He's got a Crobat, one of the best defoggers in the game, one of my favorite Pokemon. He's bringing that Crobat most likely. He's got a Cobalion, which he showed off last week being a Scarfed Cobalion, rocking that base 108 speed. Obviously has that steel and fighting type stab, which is pretty unique. He's got a Tangrowth, nice regenerator core with Tangrowth and Slowking. He's got Druddigon as well, in terms of another stealth rocker. He's got a Regirock, which actually kind of shuts down our Victini pretty well, as it has such high base defense, and obviously being a rock type, it enables to give a good type matchup against our Victini. He's got a Scolipede, which, if you don't know, in the GBA, the Baton Pass clause does not exist, so you are able to pass speed boost with other boosts and have multiple Baton Pass users on one team. So he does have that Scolipede, and if he Baton Passes speed onto something else, it could be incredibly problematic. Lastly, to round out his lineup, he's got Sandslash, which is a nice, decent spinner. Last week, he brought it Assault Vested to take on some hits. And last but not least, he has his Mega, which he calls Mega Emo, but it's actually a Mega Absol, rocking an impressive 115 base speed, paired with a pretty good special attack stat and an amazing attack stat, not to mention the Magic Bounce ability, which we're very familiar with after using Sableye all last season. Now, looking at his team, he's got a pretty good matchup against a lot of my threats, so I had to get a little bit creative here, and I think we did bring what I consider to be the best team for this matchup, and I'm looking forward to this match. I think we do have a really good opportunity to come up with a W here. I fully expect him to bring his Landorus. I think the Mega Absol will most likely come as well, as it stands as a very good Pursuit Trapper for our Victini. I think there's a good chance that he brings that Regenerator Core, at least a piece of it, maybe the Slowking or the Tangrowth, probably the Slowking. He's got the Regirock as well. That seems interesting. Potentially a Rocky Helmet Druddigon as well to kind of whittle down our Victini, so I'll have to keep an eye on that as well. And Azumarill, like I said, I'm a little bit fearing a Belly Drum set now that I kind of think about the entirety of our team. Belly Drum Azu, if it's able to get that Belly Drum off, could be a bit problematic for us, but we're going to do our best to hold it down and come out with a W here. So kicking off our lineup, making its Season 5 debut for the St. Louis Rampardos is Bob Ross, our Smeargle. Now, you're going to look at this set, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but here's my logic here. Smeargle can run any move in the game, and this week we are bringing Final Gambit, Dark Void. We can't bring Spore because of Tangrowth, Trick, and Destiny Bond. We're going to be rocking a Choice Scarf with max speed investment. We've also got negative or 0 IVs and negative defense nature. We've maxed out our HP as well. And basically what our goal here is if we lead with Smeargle, my opponent is most likely to lead with his Absol because my team screams Sticky Web. And if he leads with his Absol to get that magic bounce, it effectively makes Smeargle useless. But we have the Final Gambit. And my plan here is to click Final Gambit turn 1 and knock out his Absol and trade 1 for 1. Now, if that doesn't exactly work out, say he leads with Crobat, I do outspeed the Crobat. I could take that thing down to about, depending on the spread, I could take him down to maybe 2, 3, 4%, and then revenge kill him on the next turn and remove one of his bigger threats, Crobat. So this Smeargle set, as long as it's able to trade a kill with something, then I consider it to be successful. Its goal is to trade 1 kill. It's to get either a Final Gambit off and weaken something to the point where it can get knocked out, or pick up the kill itself. And I really do, after extensive brainstorming, planning, I do think that my opponent will see Smeargle and opt to lead with his Mega Absol because Smeargle is a non-threat to Mega Absol in every other scenario. So that's my plan here. If it doesn't work out, well, I tried. The next Pokemon we're going to be bringing this week is going to be our Jolteon. Tesla making its debut as well, rocking max speed to speed tie with the Crobat if he wants to run max speed as well. We've got Timid Nature, max special attack, HP Ice, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt. We've got the Expert Belt. And lastly, we have Substitute there. Substitute's there basically because we outspeed the Absol. We're able to set up a Substitute if he goes for Sucker Punch to revenge kill us. That'll give us an opportunity to take out the Absol, or at least hit it really hard before he Sucker Punches us, which would be pretty nice there. The next Pokemon we're bringing is our Mega Aggron, rocking the standard, Impish set, running a lot of special defense, a lot of HP investment. The reason for that is it's already tanking the physical hits from pretty much every physical attacker on his team. That special defense investment just makes it so I can take things like Fire Blast from Absol just a little bit better. I've got the Heavy Slam there, which is our general coverage. We have Toxic as well, which is going to be able to Toxic those switches. So if his switch in is Slow King or something like that, I can hit it with Toxic, and then we can get the heck out of there. We've got an Earthquake as well to hit the Cobalion hard. And last but not least, we have Rest. We're not running Rest Sleep Talk, we're strictly running Rest. The reason for this is because Aggron is going to be relied on to take a tremendous amount of hits this match, and if I can rest him up to take more, that could be incredibly advantageous. You'll see it pairs nicely with another Pokemon here I'll be announcing soon. The next Pokemon we're bringing this week is our captain, Victini. Victini actually was able to pick up a kill last week, I believe, and I'm hoping he can do the same this week, at least 1 or 2 kills, rocking just enough speed to outspeed Crobat. No matter what, we have the Choice Scarf, obviously, Adamant, V-Create, Bolt Strike. Those 2 moves are going to pretty much demolish everything, aside from Regirock. We've got the U-turn there as well to get some pivoting, and last but not least, we have Final Gambit as well. So Final Gambit actually is able to knock out pretty much everything on his team if I'm at full health, so that could also be really nice picking up a Final Gambit kill mid to late match when I feel that Victini has kind of used up its usefulness in terms of knocking out some of his offensive threats and then or his defensive threats, and then we could Final Gambit them away. So I think Victini can do a lot of work here, especially since we do have 140 HP investment. So Sing again is going to have more HP than pretty much everything on his team aside from a max HP Azumarill or a max HP Tangrowth, both of which the Bolt Strike versus and the V-Create are going to do quite a bit too, respectively. Now we're going to be bringing our Yuxi Cerebro next, and we have to pretty much bring Yuxi, and I'm sure Lars is going to prepare for this. We have to bring Yuxi because it's our only reliable, real reliable response to a Landorus Incarnate. Because it has Levitate, it's able to resist one of its or be immune to one of its stabs. We do have the Colbur Berry, which is going to allow us to take on the knockoff a little bit better. That also allows us to take a hit from the Absol and U-turn out if we need to. We've got, max HP, max special defense to take on the Landorus, assuming he's special. I do think specially offensive or mixed Landorus makes the most sense because, again, it does Oko Aggron, which is very, very key, and I think he's really going to try to capitalize on that. We've got the rocks ourselves, U-turn, Ice Punch for the Landorus, as it does hit a little bit harder than HP Ice. And we've got the Heal Bell there, which, like I said, pairs nicely with Aggron, as it's able to Heal Bell off that rest if I want to wake up the Aggron to get more hits. So that's my defensive core for this matchup. Uxie and Aggron, I think they both will pair very nicely together. But again, this match is very much so reliant on me getting that kill on the Absol right off the bat, because otherwise, the Absol's ability to Pursuit, trap my Victini, or Pursuit against my Uxie are incredibly high, and we do need to eliminate that threat of him having that priority with Sucker Punch and so on and so forth. Lastly, to round out our lineup this week, we are bringing a wall-breaking Sylveon, which is going to be our Choice Specs Pixelate Sylveon. We are bringing Pixelate this week, as we did have a minor issue last week. Sylveon did not get the memo before the match, thought it was supposed to be cuter than it normally would be. Instead, we are running the Pixelate this week, and I have verified that it is indeed Pixelate. I double-checked my sets this week. We've got, max special attack, good amount of HP investment, a tiny bit of speed investment on this thing, which is going to just basically allow us to kind of creep up just a little bit higher than some of those other threats in case he tries to speed creep us with something like Tangrowth or Reggie or even Azu. It just gives us a tiny bit of speed to hopefully bump above where he would probably aim to be. We do outspeed standard Azu, so that's kind of the plan here with our Sylveon. We do have the Hyper Voice, the Psyshock as well. Those are the only two coverage moves I need. If I can remove his Crobat, then I'm basically 2-KOing or OHKOing everything with Hyper Voice, especially after rocks. We've got the Baton Pass there for momentum purposes, and Wish is there. Even though I'm Specs, I do have the Wish there in case I need to Wish off, let Sylveon die, go into Aggron to take the hit, heal him back up, and be able to get ready to rock again. So that is going to be our lineup. We've got a very, very intense match ahead of us here, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the match this Sunday. Lars is a phenomenal competitor, an amazing battler, really good team builder. The guy knows what he's doing, so please go check out his content as well. This is the first showdown between him and I in the GBA. It's a division match. If we're able to win this match, we'll be tied for first place with Lars. If we lose this match, we'll be falling to 1 and 2, which is not the situation I want to be in this early in the season. Again, this league has been ramped up from where it was last season. The competition is at an all-time high, and there is no easy weeks, guys. There's no easy weeks. Every week is a challenge. So I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys are as well. My name is Dan. I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos, and I'm going to get the heck out of here. I will catch you guys later. Peace.